Hey guys, it's Chelsea from Powerhouse Fit Foodie, and today we're in my kitchen. I'm going to attempt to make a video showing you guys how I make my delicious, low-carb, microwavable protein cakes. So we're going to grab our ingredients and get cooking. Alright guys, so here are the ingredients that you're going to need to put this protein cake together. So you're going to need some protein powder. I'm just going to be using vanilla today. 1 egg. Some sweetener of choice. I'm going to be using stevia, coconut oil. Now the coconut oil is optional, but I really love the moistness that it gives the cake. Some Greek yogurt. I'm just going to be using plain Greek yogurt. Some ground flaxseed, baking powder, guar gum. Now the guar gum is optional. I really love using guar gum whenever a recipe calls for a bunch of protein powder or coconut flour. I find that it really helps give a nice texture to it. If you don't have guar gum, you could also use xanthan gum. And if you don't have either, don't worry about it. It's not absolutely necessary. And then whatever flavorings you'd like to add. So nut butter. Today I'm going to be using just some cinnamon and some banana extract. You can use whatever extracts and flavoring you'd like. Mashed banana is also really good. I'm just going to be using the extracts to keep it nice and low carb for my non-backloading days. So yeah, that's what you're going to need. Okay, so let's get things started here. First of all, you're going to take a scoop of your protein powder. So just go ahead and grab a scoop of that out. Like I said, I'm just using the general vanilla stuff that you get at Costco. Then you're going to need a tablespoon of the flaxseed. Just dump that in there. And then you're going to need a 1/4 teaspoon of each of the baking powder. So we'll just dump that little guy in there. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of the guar gum. So we'll dump that in there. And then we'll also add in our, this is just a couple packets of stevia there. So we'll just mix that around, just to make sure the baking powder gets in everywhere. You don't want chunks of that in there. It's pretty gross if you've ever had that happen. And then if you're adding in any dry flavorings, you can also do that now. So I'm going to add in some cinnamon because I love cinnamon in everything. And I don't measure that. I just kind of poof it in. The Costco stuff, you don't measure it, just poofs. Alright, so we'll give that a stir. Okay, and now it's time to add in the wet stuff. So you're going to add in your coconut oil. Now, you can measure this and melt it. But when you add the Greek yogurt, it's just going to harden back up. So what I do, I just take about a teaspoon. I don't really measure. And I find it gets incorporated enough just from mixing it around. So you're going to add in about a teaspoon of the coconut oil. And then you're going to add in a 1/4 cup of your Greek yogurt. So I really don't ever usually measure this. I just kind of eyeball it, but for the sake of the video, we'll measure today. So, a 1/4 cup of Greek yogurt, 1 egg. I'm going to take that and crack that like that. And then we'll just mix this all together. Alright, so mix it up. There we go. Everything's all combined now. And I don't see any huge coconut oil chunks, so that's good. So that's that there. Now is when I'm going to add in my extract. Like I said, I'm going to use some banana extract. If you're not trying to keep this really, really low carb, you could just add in a couple tablespoons of mashed banana now. Now would also be a good time if you're going to add in any nut butter. Chocolate protein powder with peanut butter is awesome for this, just to keep that in mind. Okay, and then I'm just going to stir, and then that's it. Some people like to pour this into a grease dish. I find that it doesn't really stick too bad. And if I'm making this to take it into work, I'll just mix it up in a Tupperware container, and I'll actually cook it in that Tupperware container. But today I'm having this at home, so I'm going to cook it in this bowl. So now we're just going to go head on over to the microwave and put it in. Alright, so how long this is going to need in the microwave will totally depend on your microwave. I find mine takes about 3 minutes in a bowl that size, but I like to start checking it at around 2 minutes, and then I'll check it every 30 seconds after that. So we'll come back in 2 minutes. Okay, so it's been 2 minutes. Let's see how we're looking here. Alright, so it's still a little wet in the middle. I don't know if you can see that. So I'm going to put it back in and keep checking on it every 30 seconds until that little wet spot disappears. Okay, so this bad boy took 3 minutes, which is what I thought it would take. You want it so that there's no wet spot in the middle there. It's still going to be kind of spongy, but there shouldn't be any moisture. And now, if you cook this up in your Tupperware container to take with you, it's ready to go. If you're enjoying it at home, you can eat it right out of the bowl, or you can do what I like to do, which is I just run my fork along the side there just to loosen it. Like I said, it really doesn't stick. And then I'm going to plop this over onto my plate. So let's see if I can do this with one hand. Ready? There we go. So that's what she looks like right out of the microwave. It's pretty big. It's definitely not like a small little snack. It's pretty substantial. I'll eat this as a meal sometimes. Not a whole meal. I'll have some veggies with it. But if I'm at the gym, this is the perfect size snack for me. So I'm going to show you what I do. You can eat this right now if you want. You could put some nut butter just on top of it, but I'm going to show you how I jazz it up a little bit and make it. Okay, I don't know if you guys can see. It's still steaming. It's really hot. But I'm going to kind of show you what I do just to make it a little more fun when I'm eating it at home. What I do is I just take a bread knife here, and I just cut it in half. And it's not hard to cut it in half. Like I said, it's a pretty big cake. Alright, there we go. So now, what you can do now that you've got these two halves, you could smear some peanut butter along the inside there. That's so good, especially if you use chocolate protein powder. You can make up a healthy Greek yogurt frosting, which is also really, really yummy. If you have any sugar-free caramel sauce or anything like that you want to add, now's the time to do it. But that's what I do. I cut it in half, and then I'll put some frosting all on the middle there, and then I put the top back on, and I eat it, and I feel like I'm eating cake. So it's too hot for me to do that too now, but I'll show you what it looks like when it's all done, when I've frosted it and made it look really beautiful, okay?